Hello, YouTube. So, today's the day. My final day doing YouTube for 18 to 24 months. I'm gonna be gone for like a year and a half, folks, or 2 years, around the two. I'm gonna be gone for probably for a long time, and maybe if nothing really changes here, and they still have like the rig system that I feel like YouTube has to prevent anyone from that small and struggling and trying their best to improve every day, but never impresses enough people that are doomed to stay bad forever and below, while the big ones continue getting bigger. I don't know. It just feels that way to me. Like the poor get poorer and the richer get richer. It just feels that way to me. So if that doesn't change, I don't know. I probably will leave the platform forever then. But as of right now, I'm not sure if it will. So yeah, I'm gonna be gone for a long period of time. It may be permanent if things don't change on here. Cause yeah, I don't know what else to say really. I mean, I had this one idea for a video, but I never. There's 3 videos I'm doing today, so go and check out the other 2 on my channel, or I'll possibly leave links to them. One's a stop motion video that involves Harry Potter, while another one is audio book hook of my own original book and all of that I wrote myself and did the audio for. I think that's it really. That's all I have to say, but yeah. You know, I really was hoping it to make it somewhat big here on YouTube, but it doesn't seem like that happened. Probably never will. I don't get what it takes to please people on the internet, really. Like, I have tried so many things if you look through the history of my channel, and nothing seems to ever be satisfying enough for people. And I don't understand why. I thought I've done good videos. Sure, I've done some bad ones, but the only ones that really have described to me are people who are pretty chill, I think. I don't know all of them. Or friends of mine or family. Those who are actual subscribers that subscribe to my channel because they thought I had good content, I'm grateful for you to stick around this long and not unsubscribing like a few days or weeks later, or just subscribing temporarily just to get me hopes up and then desubscribe later. Yeah, that's a sick joke, really. Anyway, I don't know. I guess I'll tell a quick idea I had here for a character for a game known as Valorant. I played it for a bit, but the community is really toxic in some ways. And I just want to play it casually, but apparently, according to some people, like a specific YouTuber, I'm not gonna bother naming, something, I don't care about the other half of his name. Apparently, Valorant is all about being competitive, and I'm like, no game should really only be all about competitive, because then that gets too toxic, really. It's toxic and not good for the game, in my personal opinion. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just a little note. But my whole idea was a character called Wavelength. And basically his whole thing was he could see people's own wavelengths, I guess you could say. Omens would be broken, actually, unlike all the others. Phoenixes, he could tell... I don't know, people theorize it. I think it makes sense, really, with how Phoenixes are in fantasy. And seeing how his powers works, that he is actually immortal. And his mirrors are like copies that are imperfect flames that can't exactly be more like him or something like that. I don't know. I had this whole ridiculous idea with him, but basically, like, his abilities would work like basically his automatic ability that you get for him. He can sense either whether the enemies are left or right, but specifically who they are. So if on the right of his side, it would tell you, and basically who is there, like if it's an Omen or a Phoenix. Or if they're to the left of him, and if they're what exactly was what. So he would be able to reveal what's half a side of him. So like he can reveal what half the map they're on when like things get interesting, and just sense the location via direction action somewhat, like the general facility, whether they're to the left or right of him, as I stated. Then, and who they are actually. So I thought that would be cool. It only gets like 2 uses though, because you can buy second use and all of that. I was going for. But it gets recharged by his second ability, which is the middle one, which I was going to have 3 charges for it, is Wave Bounce. Well, basically, he can touch the waves of, like, objects or the walls and all that, and bounce between them or bounce out for about 3 seconds, giving him a bit of mobility, making it so he can get to areas quickly. Basically, he can bounce on the waves. And finally, his third ability. I was thinking about Wave Disrupt. Well, basically, he can sense people's own personal wavelengths, and basically he can go and, like, I don't know, weirdly touch their wavelengths, disrupting them, and actually stunning them for a few seconds, or maybe just disrupting their abilities, like KO does, but, like, more like only singular. And then for his alt, it's called, I wasn't sure how to call it, but it's called, I don't know. I don't know what it would be called, but basically what I was thinking for him is you can send in this sound wave throughout an area around him that would reveal enemies, but not only that, it would be a smaller one than Killjoy's, but it would stun them physically for a second, unlike the rest of his abilities, allowing his allies to go and get in and shoot them down. That's what I was thinking for him. And the smaller version of Killjoy's that comes out faster, so it would have to be a lot smaller, or he would have to get in closer. And another possibility instead of some of them would be Wave Jump, where basically he uses the floor and jumps greatly into the air and lands back down, causing a vibration, the force stunning anyone below him in a certain radius, probably a very small one, I would say. But anyway, that was the idea for Wavelength, and he's this guy, and story-wise, I don't know, I own the idea of him, so if they want to use him, I would appreciate if they discuss with me story-wise first. But he wouldn't like Reina, wouldn't at all, because she's a hypocrite in his eyes. Like she says, his Brimstone's a hypocrite because she is. I was thinking story-wise that Reina actually went and took someone he cared about. He doesn't hate her, but he thinks she's a hypocrite in general because she complains about her own daughter's death, yet she goes killing others people's family members and loved ones. So yeah, that's my opinion with her. Her for relationship wise. Omen, he would want to help, and he said he would give him theory of his abilities, and maybe he could potentially try and fix Omen. While also with Phoenix, he would think he's pretty chill. He actually would respect Brimstone, for he was always taught to respect his elders, and I think that's really it. And he would be like in his 20s or something like that, and the reveal would basically be he runs into one of the evil mirrored versions of them from the other squad, but he's just a regular citizen at the time. He gets caught in the crossfire. He gets shot at, but he manages to fight back without a gun, and then gets a gun, and a whole thing happens where he finds out about this whole situation and decides, you know what, I'm not going to sell inside lights as my world's in danger, so besides, and so that's why he would join and all of that. And as for his mirrored counterpart's reason, he would question it greatly because the morals of himself, he actually doesn't like killing at all. He prefers to avoid it. He only wants to kill in self-defense or defense of his loved ones. So he wonders if because he's going to get a mirrored version of him, why his mirrored version of him is doing it, and maybe eventually, I don't know. It's just me ranting on about an idea, but yeah, that's practically it for this video, I think. I just wanted to review this idea and, I don't know, say farewell. YouTube. Most likely, there's a high chance that will be forever since, I don't know. It's really not done well for my mentality because, you know what, probably no one's going to watch this nor care, so, meh. Anyway, this is Crazy Boy, and I'm out here.